proud that I shed my narcissistic abusive relationship. That relationship has put me through hell. When I met the narcissist, yes, I was struggling with issues with my narcissistic parent. At the time, I did not know she was exhibiting covert narcissism, um, manipulative traits. And when I met the narcissist, which was one thing that they used to target me, was the fact that I had self-esteem issues. And it wasn't even deep self-esteem issue, but I was rejected by a parent and isolated by a parent and was kind of living by myself without family support. Family support was sporadic here and there. And there came the narcissist like a knight in shining armor. But one thing I want to impart, the one thing I want to leave is this: the narcissist. They will come into your life, they will study you. They'll come into your life by some introduction, they will study you, then they start to mimic you. So, all the things that the great traits and attributes that you embody, that you live, that you exhibit, they will start to demonstrate those traits. And then you think to yourself, oh my goodness, where has this person been all my life? Because we're so simpatico, we're like acting like one. That is the signature move of the narcissist, I should say. They mimic very well. They fake. They don't know anything about being real. They don't know anything about being empathic. They're good at certain things, and that's being systematic. They find their target, they research their target, they come up with their systematic master plan, and they go to work on their target. And everyone that they meet in their circle, whether it be through professional acquaintance, personal, or otherwise, everyone, it's the same tactic that they use. They scout them out, they try to seek out what knowledge they have, they try to act like they want to gain more knowledge. Then when they gain that knowledge, they try to take over that person's skill set, their personality, their traits. This is not a good thing to do, but I used to call my partner, my now ex-partner, succubus. Imagine you being a beautiful raisin when they met you. And by the time the narcissist is done with you, you're like a dried up, shriveled up raisin after they've done suck you dry of all your good energy. And they triangulate you, as in they always have something going. They can never stay still long enough because they have to maintain all these different relationships. And by maintaining, I don't mean that they're healthy relationship, but to the unsuspecting people, they don't know that. My job here, which I take on with pride, is to bring awareness to narcissism. Had I known about narcissism years and years gone by, I would not have wasted almost a decade with a narcissist. But I'm so proud and I'm so pleased of myself that I shed a narcissist. If you're an empathic person, then you will know that you being alone is not the end of the world. One of the biggest mistakes we make is taking a man in our life or taking a partner in our life and feeling like, okay, this person, at least they're there. At least they're there. Right? No one else is there because maybe our family has narcissistic people in it and isolated us. So we figure somebody there is better than no one at all. But no, that is not true. It's better to be by yourself and happy than to have someone who is there bleeding you dry, who is devaluing you, is putting you down on a daily basis, making you feel like nothing, bringing the spirit of fear into your life. Nothing you do is ever good enough. Nothing you say, it does not matter what you do. You bend over backwards to try to please them. Never good enough. I can remember like it was yesterday when I fell into the trap of the narcissist, where I began to do so many things to try to, appease the narcissist because I was trying to, be validated by this person. I was trying to be accepted by this person because I grew up being rejected by a narcissistic parent, which a single mother who was kind of cold and distant. I had everything that money could buy, but affection I never got from this lady. Right? I call her my surrogate, not to be disrespectful, but I have no familiar maternal ties to her because I've dealt with the narcissistic part of that relationship and I had to cut ties because it was so draining. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are, no matter how wonderful you are, or kind or supportive, nothing you do will ever please a narcissist. If you're in a narcissistic relationship, there's no up for you, even if you're married to them for the rest of your life. The narcissist will always triangulate you. They have multiple relationships going, and if it's not work or a parent or a friend, it's always somebody in need that gives them the out so that they don't have to stick around long enough. The point is that they will discard you. And after they discard you, always some kind of breakup going on. For the smallest of things, it's like leaving you in a fog. You're like, okay, but we're good just a moment. What happened? That was how it was with my parent also. For me, it was very confusing growing up because one minute me and this lady would be laughing and having good communication, and the next minute, out of nowhere, she was gone. The relationship was done. For months to years, she didn't speak to me and left me in a state of daze. I can give you multiple parallels between a narcissistic parent now that I'm aware of it and a narcissistic partner. That has left me feeling dizzy in the head from the confusion and the gaslighting and everything. I am so pleased that I am no longer either dealing with a narcissistic parent or a narcissistic partner. The only way you're ever going to live a happy life is to get rid of the narcissist. If you're an empathic person, you have a purpose. You're born special. People make us feel like we're unwanted, we're unneeded, there's nothing special about us because the light that we radiate, that we sometimes don't know because people try to condition us from a early age that something is wrong with us, so we try to hide within ourselves. But if you're an empathic person, you should know this. You already are here for a special purpose. Your special purpose, you and you alone know it. Maybe other people see it, and maybe you're hiding from your purpose, but you are here not to be a coward, not to be a fear. The narcissist will make you try and hide yourself away under a rock, right? In a closet, wherever it is that they can get you to hide yourself and hide from yourself. That is what their dark spirited duty here is to do. Your your duty here is not to fall victim to a spirit of darkness and quench your powers, quench your ability, quench your destiny. In your spiritual healing, you will come to know your destiny, which is sometimes almost always, in my knowledge, the thing that's going to make you the happiest in your entire life. Your purpose as an empath is to help people. If you're an empath, then maybe you're in a profession that you don't like, but you know what you love to do. And my thing is not working for people in toxic environment that will not value me. I love helping people, but I pulled away from working in the service industry because I find that I was so invested and I was being absorbed. My energy was being absorbed and I was just drained and tired and could not understand why. But now I now fully understand that I'm an empathic person with spiritual abilities, with energy that I have to guard. I don't care who rejects me. Thanks to spiritual healing, where I was able to release the narcissist and forgive myself, forgive the shame, because I experienced a lot of anger just thinking that me being this good, kind person that I am, I embraced people who never even valued me. I invested so much of myself into people who could not see me for even a second, no matter what I did. Bending over backwards, they will say, "What have you done for me?" It doesn't matter what you do. They will always go through the cycle. They find you, they are super nice with their charm, they fake, they fake, they guess, they future fake you. Then the devaluation, the gaslighting make your bloody head feels like it's gonna pop at any moment because you're just so confused. Like 1 minute you are happy and the next minute you're not. You were never happy. It's just euphoric moments. And then they go through the cycle because that cycle is what gives them energy. If you get mad at them, you cuss them, you're giving energy. If you feel like, okay, I broke up with him and I'm cussing him stink or I'm cussing her stink, no, you're still feeding them energy. The best way to get rid of them is simple: cut off communication. Cut off communication. I moved 4 hours away from my narcissistic parent and partner. The city that I live in, I have no friends and no family. I could not be happier, right? If you're an empathic person, you do not need people around you to ground you for you to be happy. I'm not saying isolate yourself or stay. I'm just saying that if you're going through your spiritual journey and you're at a place where you're by yourself, right? And you're living healthily within yourself, maintaining your good mental health, right? Going out, enjoying outdoor. For me, my outdoor is going to the lake. When I go to bodies of water, especially the one near my house, I feel so happy. I feel so peace. I at peace, like I call it flow, because I can feel like it's speaking to me. One time I was leaving the water New Year's Day, and as I was leaving, I was the only one there at that time because I went there just to feel like I want to have some kind of a moment. And the water, literally, the way it banged against the rock, it was almost like it was speaking to me and saying, "Yeah, I know that you came to look for me," right? So for me, going to the water, and whenever I see a lighthouse, they're sources for me, almost like they're calling me home. Because of my narcissistic, abusive parents and partner, and my deep-seated need to find healing, I did not want to go to get psychological help because my issues weren't psychological. I did not want to go get a pastor to just pray over me and have a conversation, because when I'm in low moments, going through low moments, and that person isn't there, I don't want to be tethered to anyone. I walked away from a narcissistic parent and a narcissistic partner, and I don't want to have anyone else as a crutch. I wanted to find a way how to heal myself. I inquired and looked within myself, trying to figure out how was it that I was going to heal myself. The healing that I needed was not just a broken heart that I needed to heal. The healing that I needed was spiritual. I felt broken on a deeper level, a level that it was to my core. And I know that there's something blocking me from reaching that other purpose. Whatever that calling, that yearning was deep within me. I felt like I was preventing myself from getting to that place with these burdens that I was feeling by the issues that I've gone through my entire life, from childhood with my narcissistic parent, and then transition into a narcissistic relationship, which was the most profound experience of my life. And because I wanted to heal, I decided to sit down and go through my knowledge and to fully gain understanding as to what else I did not know about narcissism. And in going through that experience, I began to look to see, okay, I'm going to start a channel because I tried last year when my narcissistic partner was still in my life. And at that time, he shut it down, which they're good at doing. Anytime you try to do something, if it's going to show them up, they'll shut it down. If it's going to make them look bad, they shut it down. So at that time, I was not in this deep spiritual healing and this strength that I'm now embody. I'm embodiment of my great spirit and my great self love and my great appreciation for myself, for my universe, for the creator. I was not at that place, but I was on my way. I knew there was better. I knew there was more. So I decided I am going to look online to see what resources are out there. And I try to look for books. I found a few books that I saw sharing about you just simply thriving, nothing about you, overcoming and gaining the strength and finding the healing. So I took to writing down my thoughts, and then in a short while, it began to just flow. I began to research more and to draw parallels to understand what are the differences between my narcissistic parent and my narcissistic partner, which at the time I did not know my mother, which I don't call her my mother. I'm not very comfortable with calling her that. I'll call her my surrogate. I call her my parent. It's very rare you'll hear the mother word slip from my mouth, but in writing down the traits that I know my partner at the time exhibited. And I could probably show you the list where I started to document. And when I looked, I started to see the parallels between my parents and my partner. And it was amazing. I gone through a period of anger. I even went through a period of rage where I was so enraged because I don't know if the universe or the creator was channeling all these experiences through me that I had to relive in order to write my book. So I wrote my book, Breaking Free, an empath's guide to spiritual healing from narcissistic abuse and trauma. And like I was explaining to you, the lighthouse, when I see a lighthouse, I perk up. There's a big smile on my face. And whenever I go to water, like I feel I'm at home, even though I don't know how to swim yet. And then the boat is just simply a vessel taking me en route from the narcissistic brokenness to me and my strong empathic self on my way to my purpose filled life. So, this book is what the knowledge that I gained from this book is what saved my life. The knowledge that I gained from this book is what I live. The knowledge that I gained from this book as an empath is who lets me know who I am, it's what let me know about my spiritual self, my abilities, my beautiful self. Like, I don't wait for anyone to tell me how beautiful I am. I dress better, I feel better, I eat better, I look better. I don't know if I said that already, but one thing or a few things that I've learned in order to find spiritual healing, you have to release the narcissistic people in your life. In releasing them, for me, it's a form of forgiveness. I don't hold on to anything that hold me back. So it is forgiveness that I've given them. But because I love myself more, I call whatever I gain as forgiveness. And what I gave to them is releasing them. But it is still forgiveness that I've given them. It's just that I prefer to believe that I gave more to myself. So I tell myself I release the narcissist because you cannot find spiritual healing and hold animosity in your heart. The biggest thing I had to work on is shame. I felt ashamed that I could not discern and see these people sooner. I was busy dealing with the loss of my child and a vehicle accident that I spent several years recovering from, right? I was out of life. I was not in love with myself, but that was mainly because of growing up with a narcissistic parent and a partner who, made me feel like and expressed to me that I was just nobody of any kind of importance to anyone. So, in releasing the narcissist, I was going through a whole lot of deep anger, and even got to rage for the first time in my life, where I got so angry I threw my mouse and broke my computer screen. And what that taught me is that I had to spend the money to repair it. So never to get to that place where I'm so enraged again. That is a valuable lesson that every time I think of or remember my computer, I remember, okay, rage is what did that. I never knew or experienced rage in my life, but anger, I've carried it along with me for many, many years in my life. And it was never a good thing. I had to release that anger and release the shame. I cannot and could not, and you will not get to your spiritual healing if you're still carrying any part of the anger that you feel towards them. You have to work through the things that are affecting you or have affected you about the narcissist. When you work through those things, then you have to work through dealing with the feelings that you have, the shame, the guilt, whatever those feelings are. When you're done working through that, then you work on forgiving yourself, right? So release them, forgive yourself. When you release them and forgive yourself, then you can begin to find self-love. Self-love. You begin to discover who you are. You begin to learn who you are, because the narcissists are no longer in your life to trap you into feeling like you can't look good or you don't look good, you can't dress this way, you can't dress that way, you can't wear this or you can't go there. The only person that you're accountable to is yourself. So when the narcissists are no longer around you and you're only accountable to yourself, then you start to do things that you want. You start to discover what you love, what you like, what you want to do more of. You embrace yourself. From doing so, you find self-love, because you get to learn about yourself. You get to love yourself. When you find self-love, spiritual healing, the spiritual healing, because it's a holistic healing. You don't care what anyone outside of yourself thinks about you. You don't care if someone is jumping up and down and say, I reject you, I reject you, I reject you. Because guess what? The only person that matters is you loving yourself, is you accepting yourself. You and the creator and the universe. I'm not saying people are not important, but I'm saying that you're born alone, you're going to die alone. We're not here to dwell on what other people think about us. We're not here. When we go to bed at night, it's us alone, our feelings that are in our head, whatever it is that is troubling us, whether we're happy or sad, it stays in our head. Whatever is in someone else's mind or brain, right, is not what's in your head that is keeping you from going to sleep. Whatever happiness belongs to someone else, yes, you can be happy for them, but your own happiness resonates and resides in you. So the point I'm trying to make is, in order to take back your life as an empath, in order for you to find your purpose, you have to go through all these steps. You have to realize that you have to forgive the narcissist. You have to forgive yourself. You have to begin to discover who you are, self-discovery. You have to self-love. Love yourself first. You will continue to take garbage from other people if you feel like garbage is what you deserve. When you've gotten through all those steps, you're going to love yourself. You're going to find things that you never knew existed. You're going to find beauty in things that you never knew existed. You're going to realize your own abilities and powers, things that people made you feel weird about, your empathic abilities, whether it be you sensing things, you're intuitive, whatever the ability is, you're going to know that you need to guard your energy. I'm thankful to Pastor Daniel, who for a whole month taught the lesson of discernment. Without discernment, you will not be able to see the snakes and be able to dwell among the snakes and still be your good, great, wonderful, empathic self. For me, for many years of my life, I wanted to learn the lesson of discernment. And I knew I craved yearning that lesson, but I never got it until the month before I began writing my book. A whole month. Every other day was a lesson from Pastor Daniel on discernment. Pastor Daniel, I thank you so much because without that lesson, it would not have all come together for me. Discernment basically is going to enable you when you're in that good, great, and wonderful place, you're able to spot who is not for you. And if they're not for you, you walk away from them and leave it at that and not let them drain your energy, right? Your energy is yours. If you give it away, then you're weakened. Then you cannot perform at your optimal self. When all of this happen and you get to those place and you're able to see the person and realize that they don't have your best interest at heart, but not dwell on them or waste your energy on them, you're gonna find that your purpose, whatever plans you had for yourself in your life before now, whatever dreams that you held for yourself before and you thought that, okay, I'd like to do this, I'd love to do this, you're going to find that you a new purpose, new dream, higher than anything you ever thought about, becomes your new reality, right? Your universal purpose as to what gifts you have, how you're supposed to use it with people in the world, if you're supposed to guard other people, help other people, whatever it is that you're called to do, your calling will be revealed. If it were coming in grains or flickering like a TV screen, it will become clear to you. You will love, 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 love yourself. I used to think that my happiness, I wonder if that's genuine. Am I genuinely a kind person? I mean, I think so because I feel it deep down in my core, or am I just full of BS? And then learning that I'm a true empath, I realize now that yes, that's who I am. It's just that people confused you. Sometimes narcissists gaslight you, right? And in gaslighting you, they make you question who you were, who you are, and then you, in your confusion, either suppress some ability you have, or run away from it, or deny it altogether. But I look forward to being a spiritual guide, which is my purpose that I've discovered, that I am a spiritual guide meant to coach people into finding their spiritual healing and to embrace themselves in this life, in this universe. Because with more empaths being awake, I'm grateful for my rebirth and my awakening, and I continue to learn each day to strengthen myself and to know more about myself. But with more empaths in the world, that means more darkness is gone, dissipates, right? We're suppressing, we're getting rid of darkness, we're bringing light into the world and highlighting about narcissistic personality and the narcissist that carries and embodies these traits that brings them into people's life, causing these tumultuous chaos and disorder. Their issue is in the name of their trait, disorder. It does not bring order to your life at any point in time. So long as you're in this relationship, you will live a life of disorder. If you are an empath, I don't need to convince you that this life is not yours. If you're an empathic person, I do not need to convince you this life is not yours. You know your purpose, it is ingrained in you. Get up and walk away from this life. Walk into your purpose, because nothing you have ever experienced before now will be as beautiful. Please check out my book on Amazon, Breaking Free, an empath's guide to spiritual healing from narcissistic abuse and trauma. The link will be in the description below. I can assure you, you will find the resources you need in this book to help you find the strength you need and to break free. Break free. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to providing content that will help you to empower you. Check out my website, afterabuserecovery.com, and more video and and affirmations on my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for giving me the time. I go by Talia Joe or Joyous. If you feel this content resonate with you, please share it. Please hit the like button. And please consider subscribing so that way I will be encouraged to put out more content that I feel will be of benefit to you until I'm able to do YouTube live. Thank you for joining me. And Namaste. I wish spiritual healing upon you.